There's something I really enjoy, and I hope you do too, and that's music. Music is, it's certainly can get you through certain days. If you have a low time, you know, you put on a bit of music. Maybe it's gonna bring your mood up. Um, or if you've got this particular task that you'd like to do, you turn on maybe a piece of music, and that certainly can change the way you perceive that task. And there's nothing quite like hearing that track, your favorite track, doing the stuff you love. Or if you go out for a run. I'm not sure if you do running, but for me, whenever I was doing running, I loved listening to the likes of Imagine Dragons. I was born. I was born for this. This is something that I really love doing. Um, I love the whole feeling of being able to go out and do my little bit of running. I love going out and doing some running. Um, but then again, we have the likes of the radio on a daily basis, and the question is, do we really think about the music that was played? Um, some mightn't, but for me, you know, I I hear a lot of music, and the thing with hearing a lot of the music, especially if you're listening to the radio, they play exactly the same tracks over and over and over again. And I mean, what is this actually doing to us? Hearing that particular track over and over again. I mean, certainly, you'll hear it, but then what happens then? It goes into your subliminal mind where, it's there, but it's not doing anything for me. It's not making me better, whatever it is I'm doing. I mean, it's just noise in the background, you know. It could be your favorite track, but then again, if you're going to be hearing this same song every day on repeat, it better be a good song. If it isn't, I don't know. Um, One thing that came to mind this morning is, you know, I'm blessed to have so many good friends, you know, and what I thought is, what about if I ask one of my good friends, you know, I I'm sort of bored of my music, and is there anything that you can recommend me? And this was actually, this is a real conversation starter because I've opened up. I've said I'm sort of bored of my music. Yes, my music can be good, but then again, you have to sort of stretch the imagination out there. I like the whole thing of, uh, I asked my good friend, and yet he gave me some amazing music, and it really did make my day. It was nice to hear something new, something that I hadn't ever heard before. And if I'm able to enjoy something for the first time, I mean, this guy, my friend, he's like a brother to me. And we have shared, you know, interests in the likes of guitar and that. But hearing some of the music really expanded my thoughts on music, and how everyone, technically, we all have our own tastes in music. Some might be jazz, some might be a bit heavier songs. but we all have this, we might have this interest in music. Yes, things play in the background, but then again, if you're listening to something new, that music will come to you, and you can really get a sense of something new. I mean, life, it certainly has its changes. So does music, you know. I feel that there's a time for music. It should be time for music within your life. And whether or not it is getting you through that short task, or even the longer task. Let's say I'm taking a bike ride. This it was really nice to experience new music. And you know what? If you've got friends and family members, just maybe try to ask them and say, you know, I'm interested in music. You know, what can you recommend to me? And you might be surprised in what they actually give you as tracks. Something that it's something that's a conversation starter. I know it was for me. You know, thing of it is, these certain tracks, they all might mean something to someone. You know, I might have this particular song, Beautiful Day. One time I was away on a summer camp in Poland, and the rains, it just rained out of the heavens. And, we asked them to play Beautiful Day, and it was a really wet day, but it was a good day still. They had to bring in the fire brigade to this camp, and thankfully everything was okay. But we were still able to say it was a beautiful day. This is the song by U2, and it's such a good song. But anyways, like I say, if you have friends and family members, yeah, ask them, see what they think about music. Anyways, hope you have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Play something new.